boys and girls, I'm going to show you today how to do a couple things. I'm going to show you how to get your string onto the needle. So I'm going to show you how to be putting the string through the eye of the needle, which is this part right here. I'm also going to be showing you how to tie a knot, because when you use the Fiber Arts Center, you need to know how to tie a knot, because I cannot be tying knots for you all the time. There's a lot of other boys and girls in the classroom that are going to need help with other things and other centers, so you need to know how to tie a knot. So I will be showing you how to tie a knot. And then in the other videos, I'm going to show you how to do a couple different stitches for the Fiber Arts Center, as well as how to sew onto a foam plate. And you need to complete this challenge of tying a knot, threading your needle, and doing a couple different stitches on your foam plate in order to use the rest of the materials at the Fiber Arts Center. When you're finished, it's going to look something like this. You do not need to make flowers, and I will show you what to do when we get to that point, but you are going to have this kind of stitch around the edge. You're also going to have a couple different stitches in the middle. So let's get started. The needle that you're going to use for this is the burlap needles. So at the Fiber Arts Center, they're labeled burlap needles. And these needles are pointy, but not super pointy, so they shouldn't really hurt you if you accidentally poke yourself. The eye of the needle is nice and big on these, so it's easier to thread the yarn through. And there's a couple different ways people like to thread yarn. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to put the yarn through the eye of the needle. But sometimes the yarn frays on the edge. That means it kind of spreads out, so it's a little hard to get it through. So there's a few methods people use. Some people like to put it in their mouth and get like some saliva on it so it gets wet, and then they kind of twist it and put it through like that. But that's not always the best way, especially since a lot of us are kind of sick. We don't want to spread germs. So another easy way to thread a needle is if you kind of loop it like this and grab the little loop and squeeze it. Now you have a nice end to put through. It won't fray, which means it won't have all the little hairs going in different directions. So once you have that little loop, you're going to take it and you're going to slide it through the needle. And once it's through, you can take your other hand and kind of pull it. And now that you have it on your needle, you're going to want to leave a little tail hanging out one side. The longer tail is going to be on the other side, because the longer tail is the tail you're going to be sewing with. So on the other end of your string, you need to find it, so you can kind of look along it until you see the other end. The end that does not have the needle is where you're going to be tying a knot. Okay, so I have it threaded on one side, the knot is on the other side. To tie a knot in your yarn, you're going to have to take it in one hand, the other hand you're going to hold the other side. Okay, then you're going to take your end and you're going to crisscross to make a loop. Okay, so here's my loop. Once you have the loop, you're going to take the little end that's in the back and you twist it around, put it through the loop, and pull it tight. Okay? Now, this knot is going to be too tiny for us, so we're going to have to do either double or triple knots. So that means you just do the knot 2 or 3 times. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to cross them over to make a loop. So I have it looping around like this. Okay? Then I need to take the little end, twist it around and pull it through the loop. And this time when you're pulling, you want to make sure that this knot and your new knot are touching. So you kind of want to keep them in the same spot so that they double up and get thicker. And then I would say probably do it one more time. So I'm going to do it in a different way. Same thing as I was doing before. It's still going to loop, but I'm holding it a little different. You can watch again. So crisscross them. There's a loop at the bottom. Take this little end. You're going to twist it, put it through the loop, and pull it tight. Okay, now that we have our knot and our thread on our needle, we are ready to begin sewing on our plate. So you're going to watch the next video to see how we begin sewing on the plate.